The sound of the hymn from Audrey's father's funeral lingered in her mind as she pulled into the driveway. A moving truck was parked there, its rear doors wide open, devouring the remnants of her life like a ravenous beast. Two men were carefully maneuvering the leather couch, the one Milo and Audrey had spent countless Saturday mornings on, watching cartoons, down the front steps. Audrey killed the engine, her hands shaking as she stepped out of the car, her black funeral dress catching on the doorframe. Gavin stood in the doorway, arms crossed, observing the movers with the detached expression he usually wore when overseeing yard work. "What's going on?" Audrey's voice cracked. "Why are movers here?" "It's not our house anymore," Gavin replied, his lips forming something that could almost be mistaken for a smile. "I sold it last week. You were too caught up with your mother to notice the signs going up." Audrey's world seemed to tilt sideways. She grabbed onto the car door to steady herself. "You sold it?" "Got a great price for it. Sky handled the listing. You remember her from the Christmas party." He glanced at his watch. "Speaking of which, I need to meet her in an hour to finalize the paperwork." Sky, the blonde real estate agent who'd spent the entire party laughing at Gavin's jokes and touching his arm too often. "You can't sell the house without my signature," Audrey said, but there was uncertainty in her voice. "Actually, I can. Don't you remember the power of attorney you signed last year when I restructured our investments?" His smile widened. "You should really read the fine print, Audrey." Milo's bicycle was lying on the lawn, a mover approaching it. "Don't touch that," Audrey snapped. "Where's Milo?" "At Dean's house. I thought it was best he didn't see this." Gavin pulled out his phone and scrolled through his messages. "You can pick him up later. I've arranged for you two to stay at the extended stay on Richmond Avenue until you figure things out." The casual way he dismissed their 15 years of marriage made Audrey's stomach churn. "Figure things out? I just buried my father." "Yes, and I'm sorry for your loss, but you've been spending so much time with your family lately. I assumed you'd want to stay with your mother anyway." A mover came out carrying Milo's trophy collection, soccer championships, science fairs, spelling bees, all the awards that Audrey had proudly displayed in the living room. The man stumbled, and one of the trophies fell, shattering on the concrete. "Be careful with those!" Audrey shouted, then turned back to Gavin. "Look, I've been more than fair. I'm leaving you the car, and I've arranged a stipend for you until Milo turns 18. "Fair?" The word tasted like bile in her mouth. "You're kicking us out of our home while I'm burying my father?" He shrugged. Timing's never perfect for these things. Through the open door, Audrey could see their walls stripped bare, the family photos, the artwork Milo made in kindergarten, the mirror her grandmother gave them as a wedding present, all gone. 15 years of memories packed away or discarded while she held her mother's hand at the cemetery. "Why?" The question came out as a whisper. "Because I can." He checked his watch again. "The movers need to finish by 5. You should gather whatever personal items you want to keep. Everything else is being placed in storage. I'll have my lawyer send you the details." Audrey stood there, watching strangers dismantle her life piece by piece. The funeral dress felt too tight, suffocating her. Her father was dead, her husband was leaving her, and her son's bicycle lay broken on their lawn. Gavin's phone buzzed. He smiled at the screen, then looked up. "Sky is waiting. Don't forget to pick up Milo by 6. He walked to his BMW, calling over his shoulder, "Oh, and Audrey, I kept the good coffee maker. You never used it properly anyway." As his car disappeared down the street, Audrey noticed her hands had stopped shaking. The numbness spreading through her body wasn't grief or shock. It was something colder, something harder. She pulled out her phone and called her brother Asher. "I need your help," she said when he answered. "Gavin's going to regret this, every single bit of it." The extended stay's fluorescent lights cast a sickly glow over Milo's sleeping face. He'd cried himself to sleep, clutching his father's old college sweatshirt, the only piece of Gavin he'd managed to grab before they left. Audrey sat in the room's single chair, scrolling through her phone, piecing together the past few months like a jigsaw puzzle of betrayal. Asher's text from 3 weeks ago suddenly caught her eye. Saw G at Riverside Plaza with Sky. Looked cozy. Probably nothing, but thought you should know. She dismissed it then, too focused on Dad's decline. Health. Sky. Sky. The signs had been there, written in neon, while she'd been changing Dad's morphine drips and holding her mother's hand. Her phone buzzed. Asher, you at that motel? He asked when she answered. Extended stay. Sounds fancier than it is. Audrey kept her voice low, watching Milo stir. Did you know about the house? Just found out, but listen, there's more. Asher's voice dropped. I did some digging. Gavin's been moving money around, big amounts. And get this, he took out a second mortgage 3 months ago. The room's cheap artwork, generic landscapes in plastic frames, suddenly seemed to mock their situation. How did you... I'm good with computers, remember? And Dean owes me a favor. A pause. Gavin's in trouble, Audrey. The kind that makes men do desperate things. Milo whimpered in his sleep. Audrey moved to the bathroom, closing the door softly. What kind of trouble? Not sure yet. But Dean mentioned something about investors demanding returns, and there's a pattern of transfers to an offshore account. A memory resurfaced. Gavin, urging her to sign the investment papers, his hand resting on her lower back as he guided the pen. For our future, he'd said. Trust me. I need proof, Asher. Something concrete I can use. I'm already working on it, but there's something else. He paused. Mom's asking for you. She's really struggling with Dad gone, and now this. Guilt twisted in Audrey's gut. She had dropped Milo off at Dean's house and driven straight to the motel, too embarrassed to face her mother. I'll visit tomorrow. I can't tonight. She understands. But Audrey... Asher's voice grew stern. Gavin's going to pay for this. No one messes with my sister. After hanging up, Audrey returned to the main room. Milo had kicked off his blanket, his face scrunched in distress. As she tucked him back in, his eyes fluttered open. Mom? His voice was small, confused. When are we going home? Soon, baby. The lie tasted like ash in her mouth. Get some sleep. Her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Sorry about the house. Didn't know about the funeral. Sky. Audrey's fingers hovered over the screen. Sorry? She was sorry? The woman who had helped her husband steal her home while she buried her father? Audrey's father would be sorry. Another text came in. We should talk. Coffee tomorrow? Just us girls. Just us girls, as if they were friends meeting for brunch, not a wife and her husband's mistress. Audrey typed several responses, each more venomous than the last, but deleted them all. Instead, she typed, Starbucks on Main, 10 a.m. Sky replied instantly, Perfect. So much to discuss. Setting her phone down, Audrey stared at her reflection in the bathroom mirror. The woman looking back seemed older, harder. Her dad used to say she had Mom's eyes, kind eyes he called them, but there was nothing kind in her reflection now. Another buzz from her phone. Gavin. Sign the papers. Sky says you're meeting tomorrow. Play nice. It'll be better for everyone, especially Milo. The threat in those words was clear. He thought he had all the power, that she'd just give in, accept whatever scraps he threw her way because that's what good wives and good mothers did, right? She glanced at Milo, now peacefully sleeping in his borrowed bed, then back at her reflection. Gavin was right about one thing. This was about Milo. But he had forgotten something crucial. Nothing is more dangerous than a mother protecting her child. She texted Asher, Need you to dig deeper. Find everything you can on Sky. And Asher, don't worry about being gentle. Sky looked exactly like her real estate headshot. Perfect blonde waves, a practiced smile, a designer blazer. She sat across from Audrey at Starbucks, stirring her skinny latte with careful precision, as if measuring the exact number of rotations. "I know this is awkward," she said, her smile unwavering. "But I want you to understand, Gavin and we didn't plan this." Audrey wrapped her hands around her black coffee, letting its heat ground her. "Did you plan selling my house while I buried my father?" Her smile flickered. "That was unfortunate timing, but Gavin assured me you'd been distant for months, always at your parents' house, neglecting your marriage." Her father was dying. And now he's dead. She reached across the table, her manicured hand stopping short of touching hers. "Life goes on, Audrey. Gavin's ready to move forward. Maybe you should too." Her phone buzzed, a text from Asher. "Check your email now." "Excuse me," Audrey said, pulling up her inbox. The subject line read, "Sky Financials Urgent." Sky's voice turned honey-sweet. "Gavin mentioned Milo's struggling with the changes. I have some experience with children. My sister's kids adore me. Maybe I could— When did you file bankruptcy?" The words cut through her rehearsed speech like a blade. The color drained from her face. "What?" Audrey scrolled through Asher's documents. 3 years ago, right after your divorce. Interesting timing considering you just helped sell a house you couldn't legally broker." "That's private information," her voice sharpened, "and irrelevant. Your real estate license was suspended 6 months ago. Something about mishandled client funds." Audrey looked up from her phone. "Does Gavin know?" Sky's perfect posture cracked. She glanced around the coffee shop, then leaned forward. "Listen carefully. Gavin and I have plans that could benefit everyone, including Milo. Don't make this messy." Too late. Audrey stood up, but Sky grabbed her wrist. "You don't understand," she hissed. "Gavin's not who you think he is. There are things— Let go of my arm. He's dangerous when he's cornered. The money, the house, it's bigger than you know." Her nails dug into Audrey's skin. "Walk away. Take whatever settlement he offers." Audrey twisted free. "Funny, I was about to give you the same advice." Outside, her phone rang. "Asher, did you see the files?" he asked. "Yes, but there's more. Sky just warned me about Gavin being dangerous. Something about money." "That's not all." Asher's voice tightened. "Dean called. He's scared. Audrey says Gavin's been moving millions through the bank, client money, the kind of transactions that attract federal attention." Her legs went weak. She leaned against a storefront window. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying Gavin's not just having an affair, he's running a scheme. And Sky, she's not just his mistress. She's been helping him flip properties, launder money." Through the coffee shop window, Audrey watched Sky make a call, her hands shaking as she pressed the phone to her ear. "There's something else," Asher continued. "Remember Dad's investment account? The one Gavin offered to manage?" The world seemed to spin. "No. It's gone, Audrey. All of it. The account was emptied 2 weeks before Dad died." Her father's voice echoed in her mind. "Gavin's good with money. Trust him with the accounts. He'll make sure your mother's taken care of." Sky appeared from the coffee shop, her perfect mask slipping when she spotted Audrey. She rushed to her car, fumbling with her keys. "Asher," Audrey said, her gaze fixed on Sky's retreating figure. "I need everything. Bank records, property deals, all of it. And I need to know who else is involved." "Already on it. But Audrey, be careful. If Gavin realizes we're digging—" "He won't." Audrey started walking toward her car. "Because his perfect girlfriend is about to have a crisis of conscience." "What do you mean?" Audrey watched Sky's BMW speed away. "Let's just say Miss Parker looks like someone who'd rather cut a deal than go down with a sinking ship. And Gavin." The rage that had been simmering since the funeral solidified into something colder, sharper. "Gavin thinks he's ruined my life. I'm going to show him what ruin really looks like." Dean's hands shook as he slid the manila envelope across his mahogany desk. The quiet of the bank after hours pressed in on them like a heavy weight. If Gavin finds out I gave you these... He loosened his tie. My career, my family, everything I've built... Audrey took the envelope. He won't know. You don't understand these transactions, Dean's voice cracked. The FBI is already asking questions, unofficial inquiries, but... How long have you known? Audrey wouldn't meet his eyes. About the money laundering? 6 months. About Sky? Longer. The sting of betrayal was sharp and fresh. Dean had been at their wedding, had helped Milo learn to ride a bike. And you said nothing? Gavin has dirt on everyone, Audrey, even me. He pulled out a flask, his hands still trembling. Especially me. Her phone buzzed. A text from June. Milo's asking questions. Says Gavin promised him a new house with a pool. Should I tell him? Audrey typed back. No. Coming to get him. Dean took a long drink. There's more. Your father's investment account. Gavin didn't just steal it. He used your signature to open credit lines, take out loans. When the feds come, and they will come, they'll look at you too. The room tilted. Your nursing license? Your ability to work? He finally met her gaze. Gavin's made sure, if he goes down, you'll burn with him. Her phone buzzed again, Gavin this time. Taking Milo to dinner tomorrow. Sky wants to bond with him. Don't interfere. The fury that had been simmering since the funeral crystallized into something colder, more focused. I need copies of everything. Already done. Dean gestured to the envelope. But be careful. These documents, they're not just about money. There are names, powerful people who trusted Gavin with their secrets. Like you? He flinched. I was weak. Karen was sick. The medical bills. Save it. Audrey stood, clutching the envelope. I trusted you with my family, Dean, with my son. I'm sorry. He looked suddenly older, defeated. For what it's worth, I never thought he'd go this far, using your father's death as cover to sell the house. That's cold, even for Gavin. Another text buzzed. Asher. Sky called. Wants to meet. Says she has proof of everything. Does Sky know? Audrey asked. Dean. About the FBI? Gavin's kept her in the dark about most of it. She thinks they're just flipping houses, maybe some creative accounting. He laughed bitterly. She has no idea she's been helping launder cartel money. The word hit like a physical blow. Cartel? Why do you think he's so desperate? These aren't the kind of people who accept excuses. Dean's hand shook as he poured another drink. Get Milo somewhere safe, Audrey. Please. Her phone lit up again. Sky. We need to talk, not about Gavin, about Milo's safety. The pieces clicked together. Gavin's sudden rush to sell the house, Sky's warning at the coffee shop, Dean's trembling hands. This wasn't just about an affair or stolen money. Her son was sleeping in a motel room while his father played games with cartel cash. One more thing, Dean said as she reached the door. Gavin's planning to leave the country soon, and he's filing for full custody of Milo. The envelope felt heavy in her hands, the weight of secrets, of betrayals, of threats. But something else was building inside her, something beyond rage or fear, something that felt like clarity. She pulled out her phone and texted Sky. Tomorrow 9 a.m., same place. Bring your proof. Then, Asher, need you to get Mom and Milo out of town, now. Finally, she turned back to Dean. When the FBI comes, tell them everything. But first, tell them about the sister-in-law Gavin paid to disappear 3 years ago, the one who knew too much. Dean's face went ash white. How did you... I'm a nurse, Dean. I know how to keep secrets too, and now... She patted the envelope. I know how to use them. June's kitchen looked the same as it had when Audrey was a child. Yellow curtains still hanging, the same coffee-stained counters, and that familiar smell of cinnamon mixed with worry. Milo sat at the table building a fortress out of sugar packets, while Asher paced, his laptop open beside him. "The cabin's ready," Asher said. 3 hours north, off the grid. Mom's bag is packed. June's hands trembled as she stirred her untouched coffee. "I won't hide while my daughter fights alone." "It's not hiding," Audrey said, her eyes still on Milo's fortress as it grew taller. "It's protecting Milo from his father." Her voice cracked. "What aren't you telling me, Audrey?" Before Audrey could answer, Asher's laptop pinged. He leaned in, his expression darkening. "Gavin's moving faster than we thought. Large withdrawals, account closures." He stopped, glancing at Milo. "Hey, buddy," Audrey called softly. "Why don't you show Grandma your new video game?" As soon as they left, Asher turned the screen toward her. "Gavin's booked 3 tickets to Venezuela tomorrow night. Him, Sky, and Milo." The room seemed to spin. "He can't take Milo out of the country without my consent." "He can with the custody papers he filed this morning. Claims you're unstable, grieving, unfit to parent." Asher's jaw tightened. "Judge Harrison signed them an hour ago." Harrison. The name hit her like a blow. Gavin's golf buddy, the same one. Asher opened another document. "But here's the thing Gavin doesn't know. Sky made copies, account numbers, client lists, everything. She's scared, Audrey. She says Gavin's been getting calls in Spanish, coming home with bruises." Her phone buzzed with a text from Sky. "He knows I talked to Dean. Says he'll tell them about my part in it. Please help." Another text followed. "Meeting at the house in 30 minutes. Come alone, or I send everything to Gavin." "She's trying to play both sides," Asher warned. "No." Audrey grabbed her keys. "She's trying to survive." The drive to their old house, the house that now belonged to Gavin, felt surreal. The streets seemed to mock her, filled with memories of Milo learning to bike, of Sunday morning walks, a life she thought was real. Sky's BMW was parked in the driveway. She stood next to it, her designer suit swapped for jeans and a sweater, her makeup smeared like she'd been crying. Inside, Sky looked up, her face drawn. "Please," she whispered. The house was eerily empty, just a few boxes scattered around. Their family photos were gone, replaced by sleek modern art pieces. Sky's taste, not Gavin's. "He's going to kill me," Sky blurted out, her voice shaky. Not literally, but when they come for the money when they realize I helped him." She pulled out a USB drive. "Everything's here. Accounts, properties, names, enough to bury him." "Why help him in the first place?" Audrey asked, her voice low. "Because I loved him," Sky replied bitterly. "Or I thought I did until I saw what he did to you, to Milo, until the threats started." Audrey's phone buzzed again. It was Asher. "Gavin just landed at the airport. He's coming your way." Sky saw her expression change. "He's coming, isn't he?" She pressed the USB into Audrey's hand. "Take it, but Audrey, there's something else, something worse." What could be worse than cartel money? The sister-in-law who disappeared, she didn't just know about the money, A car door slammed outside. Sky went pale. "Back door," she whispered. "Go. I'll stall him." Audrey slipped out just as Gavin's voice filled the house. Hidden behind the garden shed, she heard their voices rise. "You stupid!" Gavin snarled. "Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Gavin, please!" The sound of flesh hitting flesh made Audrey flinch. Her phone lit up. "Asher. FBI is moving tonight. Get out now." Another text followed from an unknown number. "Mrs. Thompson, Special Agent Reed. We need to talk about your husband's connection to the Morales cartel and about what really happened to Ivy." Ivy, Dean's sister-in-law, the one who disappeared after threatening to expose Gavin's schemes. Sky's scream pierced the evening air, followed by a heavy thud. Audrey clutched the USB drive, her heart pounding. In that moment, revenge didn't matter. Justice didn't matter. Only Milo mattered, and keeping him safe from the monster his father had become. She texted Asher. "Get them to the cabin now." Then she dialed Agent Reed's number, watching through the window as Gavin loomed over Sky's crumpled form. Agent Reed, I'm ready to talk about everything. Agent Reed's office felt like a confessional box, small, sterile, with fluorescent lights that made everything look sickly. The USB drive sat between them like a loaded gun. Your husband's smart, Reed said, scrolling through Sky's files. Using real estate deals to clean cartel money. But Ivy figured it out, didn't she? Audrey's hands wouldn't stop shaking. Where is she? Dead. Reed slid a photo across the desk. Ivy's car, crushed at the bottom of a ravine. Accident officially, but we both know better. Her phone buzzed. Asher, Milo's asking for you. Mom's keeping him calm. Call, but, Mrs. Thompson, Reed leaned forward. We can protect you, your son, but we need you to wear a wire. Get Gavin to confess. Another buzz. Gavin, meeting at the country club, 8 p.m., about Milo's future. Come alone, or the custody hearing gets ugly. He'll know, Audrey said. He's desperate. Cartels breathing down his neck. FBI closing in. He'll talk. Reed pulled out a wire. You just need to push the right buttons. The country club's parking lot was nearly empty when Audrey arrived. Gavin stood by the entrance, his perfectly pressed suit masking the monster beneath. He smiled when he saw her, that same smile that once made her feel safe. You look tired, he remarked, leading her inside. Motherhood's aging you. The wire itched against her skin. Where's Milo going to sleep in Venezuela? His step faltered. Who told you? Sky talks when she's scared. Audrey kept walking, heart pounding, just like Ivy used to. He grabbed her arm, his fingers digging in. Careful, Audrey? Or what? Another accident? She yanked her arm free. How many people have you killed to keep your secrets, Gavin? Lower your voice. His smile turned predatory. You know what happens to nurses who lose their licenses, who can't support their children? It's better than what happens to cartel money launderers in prison. The blow came fast. Not a punch, but a shove that sent her stumbling into an empty conference room. Gavin locked the door behind them. You stupid. His voice was eerily calm now. You think you can threaten me? I own Judge Harrison. One word from me, and you'll never see Milo again, just like Ivy never saw her family again. Ivy was weak, like Sky. Audrey spat. He moved closer. But you? You're something else, fighting so hard for a kid who isn't even yours. The world stopped. What? Gavin laughed cruelly. You really thought those fertility treatments worked? That miracle baby after all those years of trying? He pulled out his phone, showing her a photo. Milo as a newborn, but with a different woman. Ivy wasn't just my accountant. She was Milo's mother. The wire felt like it was burning against her skin. You're lying. DNA doesn't lie. Ask your brother. I'm sure he's already hacked the hospital records. Gavin slipped his phone back into his pocket. Ivy threatened to expose everything, take Milo away. I couldn't allow that. So you killed her? Her voice was distant, hollow. I protected my son, like I'm protecting him now. He pulled out custody papers. Sign these, walk away, or I'll tell Milo the truth about his real mother, right after I tell the cartel where to find your precious family cabin. Her phone buzzed. It was Asher. FBI lost the wire signal. Get out now. Gavin smiled, offering her the pen. Tick-tock, Audrey. What's it going to be? The papers blurred through her tears. Every moment with Milo, every bedtime story, every scraped knee, every first day of school felt like a lie. But then, she remembered Milo's voice from this morning. Love you, Mom. She took the pen. Gavin's smile widened. Smart girl. No. She dropped the pen onto the table. Smart would be wearing a wire that actually works. His face shifted to one of confusion. What? She pulled out her phone, the recording app running. Say hello to Agent Reed. The conference room door burst open. Reed led the charge, agents swarming in as they cuffed Gavin. As they dragged him away, he called out, "He'll never forgive you when he learns the truth." Maybe not, but Milo would be alive to hate her, and Ivy would finally have justice. Her phone buzzed one last time. Asher. "Milo's safe. Come home." Home. Not the house Gavin stole, not the life he destroyed, but somewhere new, somewhere honest, even if that honesty might break both their hearts. The courthouse hallway stretched like a gauntlet. Gavin sat on a bench outside Judge Harrison's chambers, still wearing his expensive suit despite the ankle monitor. His lawyer whispered urgently in his ear. "Ready?" Asher squeezed her shoulder. She clutched Ivy's diary, the final piece Agent Reed had recovered from the ravine. The custody hearing would start in 20 minutes. Gavin's eyes found hers, his smile confident despite everything. He thought he still held all the cards. Milo's true parentage, the forged documents in her name, the debts that could destroy them. Mrs. Thompson Skye emerged from around the corner, arm in a sling, face still bruised. For a moment, Asher tensed, but Audrey nodded. Skye led her to an empty conference room. Gavin's lawyer reached out. Her voice shook. "Offered me immunity if I testified that you knew about the money laundering, that you helped." And I said no. She pulled out her phone. Because of this. The video showed Gavin in their old house, raging at Skye. Ivy got greedy, threatened to expose everything. "You really think I won't do the same to you?" Her hands trembled. "The night you wore the wire, I had my own insurance policy." Skye's laugh was hollow. Funny thing about men like Gavin, they never think the women they use might be smarter than them. The conference room door opened. Agent Reed entered with Dean. "It's done," Reed said. "Judge Harrison's been arrested. Dean's testimony about the bribes was very compelling." Gavin's voice carried from the hallway. "What the hell is this?" They stepped out to find two federal marshals replacing Gavin's ankle monitor with handcuffs. "New evidence," Reed announced. "Money transfers to Judge Harrison, correspondence about Ivy." He held up a USB drive. "Detailed records of cartel transactions. Your wife's been busy, Mr. Thompson." Gavin lunged toward her, marshals barely holding him back. "You think this changes anything? Tell them about Milo. Tell them how you've been lying to my son." The hallway fell silent. Milo, who'd been sitting quietly with her mother, looked up. "Mom?" The word cut deeper than any knife. She opened Ivy's diary, found the photo tucked inside. Ivy holding newborn Milo, her smile radiant, the same smile Milo had inherited. "Your father's right," she said, moving toward Milo. "I have been lying by not telling you about how brave your mother was, how she tried to protect you, how much she loved you." Gavin's face contorted. Ivy was your mother," she continued, kneeling before Milo. "And she was a hero. She discovered what your father was doing, tried to stop him, tried to save you." Milo's eyes filled with tears. "But you're my mom. Being a mom isn't just about blood, but..." Asher stepped forward, his voice soft but firm. "It's about who reads you stories, kisses your scraped knees, loves you no matter what." "She's not your real mother," Gavin screamed, as the marshals dragged him toward the elevator. "She stole you from Ivy. Ask her about the fertility clinic records." Audrey pulled Milo close, feeling his tears soak into her shoulder. "I didn't give birth to you, but I have loved you every single day of your life, and if you'll let me, I'll never stop." Milo's voice was muffled against her shirt. "Did my real mom love me?" She opened the diary and showed him Ivy's words. "My beautiful boy. I'll do anything to keep you safe. Anything." "She died protecting you," Skye said softly, her voice carrying the weight of the truth. The elevator doors closed on Gavin's rage, leaving them in silence. After a moment, Milo picked up the photo of Ivy. "Can I..." He swallowed hard. "Can I keep this?" "Of course," Audrey said, wiping the tears from his cheeks. "And I'll tell you everything about her. No more lies." Milo studied the photo for a long moment before looking up at her. "But you're still my mom too, right?" "Always," Audrey promised, her voice filled with unwavering certainty. "If you want me to be." He hugged her tighter than ever before. Over his shoulder, Audrey watched as the marshals led Judge Harrison away in handcuffs, while Dean handed more evidence to Agent Reed. The truth hadn't brought revenge. It had brought something better. Justice for Ivy, for Milo, and for all of them who'd loved too deeply and trusted too much. "Let's go home," Audrey whispered to Milo. "Which home?" he asked. "Wherever we're together." The small box of Ivy's belongings sat on their new kitchen table. Photos, letters, the diary that had exposed everything. Milo traced his birth mother's handwriting with careful fingers, while Audrey prepared dinner, the rhythmic chopping of vegetables grounding her in this strange new normal. "She liked poetry," Milo said, holding up a worn notebook. "Like me." The knife paused over a half-cut carrot. "You write poetry?" He shrugged, suddenly shy. "Sometimes." "About everything that happened?" Asher's voice carried from the living room where he was installing security cameras, a precaution that felt necessary even with Gavin awaiting trial. "Kid's got talent. Found his notebook last week." Her mother appeared in the doorway, arms full of fresh laundry. "Just like Ivy. She used to send me her poems, before—" Milo's head snapped up. "You knew her?" "She came to me first," Mom said, setting down the laundry. "About Gavin. About the money. I didn't understand then, but she trusted me with one thing." She pulled an envelope from her pocket, yellowed with age. "This was for you when you were ready." Milo's hands shook as he opened it, a poem written in Ivy's flowing script. "Read it," Audrey whispered to her son. Milo began. "They say blood makes family, but love makes truth. In darkness or light, two mothers' hearts beat for you." His voice cracked. The doorbell rang. Agent Reed stood outside with Skye, her arm now free from the sling but her eyes still shadowed by the past. "It's done," Reed said. "Gavin took the plea deal, 20 years minimum. The cartel connections alone." "And the house?" Audrey's voice faltered on the question, the weight of it still heavy in her chest. "Seized as evidence," Skye replied, "but I brought these." She held out a stack of photos. Milo's first steps, birthday parties, moments Audrey thought she had lost forever, all found in Gavin's office. "I couldn't let them go to evidence storage." Milo appeared beside her, clutching Ivy's poem in his hands. "Did you know my mother too?" Skye knelt to his level. "No, but I wish I had. She was braver than all of us." "Mrs. Thompson," Reed said, her voice steady, "there's something else. The fertility clinic records Gavin mentioned, they were altered. Not by you, but by Ivy." Audrey's heart skipped a beat. She knew what Gavin was, even then. Made sure that if anything happened to her, you'd be Milo's legal mother. She chose you. Milo slipped his hand into hers. "Mom, can we hang Ivy's picture in my room, next to the one of us?" "Of course, baby." After Reed and Skye left, they gathered around the kitchen table. Milo, Asher, Mom, and Audrey, a makeshift family pieced together from broken parts and hard truths. Milo read more of Ivy's poems while Asher ordered pizza and Mom fussed over homework. Audrey's phone buzzed with a text from Dean. "Gavin asking to see Milo. Says he has more secrets to share." She deleted it without responding. Some secrets weren't meant to be weapons. Some truths were meant to heal. "Mom?" Milo looked up from Ivy's notebook, his face thoughtful. "I wrote something too. Want to hear it?" The simple question carried the weight of trust. No longer forgiveness because they were beyond that, but understanding. Love that transcended blood and betrayal. Always. He opened his own notebook, its pages cramped with a child's careful writing. "Two hearts," he read aloud. "One gave me life, One gives me home. Both gave me love. Tommy wiped his eyes, trying to hide his emotion. Mom squeezed Audrey's hand under the table. The security cameras blinked silently, watching over their new life. Ivy's diary lay open beside Milo's notebook, two mother hearts beating through words, reaching across time. Outside, the world continued to turn. Gavin faced justice. Sky sought redemption. Old wounds slowly healed. But here, in this moment, revenge faded into something stronger. Not the family they had lost, or the one they thought they had, but the one they had chosen, the one they had fought for. Milo continued reading, his voice growing steadier with each line. In his words, Audrey heard echoes of Ivy's courage, his own resilience, and a love that defied definition. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't in destroying what hurt you, but in building something beautiful from the ruins.